Hi guys, Maximus Grahamicus here again. So I'm making this video here to explain to you guys how to properly allocate your Paragon points and how to enchant your gear to get the best out of it, to get the most bang for your buck basically, so that you're not wasting Paragon points or enchanting things that aren't going to give you the most damage or, exactly what you're looking for. So this is not a universal, like if you should always do it this way. It's more of a formula, and it's very easy to understand. So 1 point of crit damage, 1 point Paragon point in crit damage gives you 1 crit damage. 1 Paragon point in crit chance gives you 0.1. 1 point in cooldown reduction gives you 0.2. 1 point in attack speed gives you 0.2 attack speed. So essentially here, this gives you 1 Paragon point. It shows you the values. So this 1 Paragon point is worth this much of these offensive abilities. So if you had to choose on your gear, say that you wanted to put in a Jade set and you wanted to combine cooldown reduction, crit chance, crit damage, and you're not sure which one to enchant or how to put your Paragon points. Well, a general rule of thumb is to keep your crit chance somewhere between 45 and 50%. If it's somewhere between there, that's pretty good. You might want to top it up to 50, and then once it gets to 50, you can start putting crit damage and whatever else you want. Cooldown reduction is a very important thing though with the Jade set, because it refreshes the cooldown of your soul harvest. So if you are looking at a ring and you are wondering what to enchant, so here I've got 4.5 crit chance. 4.5 crit chance would work out to 45 Paragon points, because 50 Paragon points in crit chance is 5 crit chance, so that's worth 45 Paragon points. Now if that was 8% cooldown, 8% cooldown is worth 40 Paragon points. If that was 50 crit damage, it would be worth 50 Paragon points. 7 attack speed worth 35 Paragon points. Yeah, I can't count, but you can do that. Anyway, so that works out to that. So you just want to figure out which is worth the most amount of points. So if you had to choose between 50 crit damage or 8 cooldown reduction, which is the maximum that you can get on rings, 50 crit damage would be worth more. It'd be worth 10 Paragon points more, so you would choose 50 crit damage and compensate by adding your Paragon points this way, and that way you would get the most cooldown reduction and crit damage for the same amount of Paragon points. So that's how you balance it out that way. You try to calculate it in your head, whatever you've rolled, because it's going to be different each time. Whatever you're trying to roll, try and figure out, try to roll whatever is going to be worth the most amount of points that you are lacking to top up and balance out your stats. If you need more crit chance and you've already got crit chance capped out at 5% in your Paragon points, then you're going to want to roll crit chance on that item, because you can't get any more of crit chance. If it's still under 45, put crit chance on it. That's a priority. But if you're already at 45 crit chance and then you want to add cooldown reduction and you want to have crit damage, you always want to have crit damage. It's more or less a question, do you want to have cooldown or not? And if you don't need cooldown, you can put in attack speed. And same thing with attack speed and cooldown reduction or crit damage. Calculate which is going to give you the most amount of points, and then enchant the other stat onto your gear, or whatever you've enchanted onto your gear, then you can allocate your points accordingly, depending on which order you've done it in. So that's basically how you can figure out with amulets and with rings and stuff what to enchant to give you the most bang for your buck. Amulets, it's actually a slightly different thing, so I'll give you a bit of a tip on this. So your damage is going to be shown here, your sheet damage. A lot of people don't realize that this is actually not your real damage that's going to be represented. This is, I'm poison spec, so my poison damage on this character is actually 2 million. Just a little over 2 million poison damage. Shows 1.3 million. His damage is a little bit over 2 million actual damage. So you can increase your poison damage without actually increasing this damage here. So if you were to drop, say, attack speed this sheet damage might drop, but if you replace that attack speed with an elemental damage such as poison, your actual damage, the poison damage, won't show up on your sheet damage. It won't show up here, but it will show up here on your poison damage. So this is the number that you really only care about, and as long as you've got crit chance between 45 and 50, as much poison elemental damage as you can muster, as long as that number is going up, you got your crit chance between 45 and 50, and your toughness is good, you should be fine. Cooldown reduction, whatever you need it to be. But you can now know how to get the most amount of, what is worth the most amount of value on enchanting the values of stuff, so that you don't have to waste points and, take 5% attack speed instead of 50 crit damage, because, well, yeah, 50 crit damage is worth a lot more points. So now you know, okay? That's the point. That's the video. Hope that helped you guys.